We are back, ladies and gentlemen, for a Game 3 in this almost turned into a saga, I suppose, of a series as we see LGD coming up against Rogue Warriors. Rogue Warriors tying up the series 1-1, looking for that mini reverse sweep. And honestly, we talked about in the pregame, it just looks like LGD just don't really know what to do past 10 minutes.
Yes.
Like, it's really struggling for them to really know exactly what they need to do.
They need a new Band-Aid. A few more to patch up the ship.
A few more Band-Aids. It's like putting it on a broken arm. Just like, that's fine.
Yeah, you definitely get the largest one available in the shop. That's what you need. Is what you need. So yeah, I agree. We're at a stage right now. If you're LGD, they need to be learning something within the series, which is at least what is the role of Lies is my question. Lies comes in, has one of the worst matchups, of course, you can look at and say, well, he's going to get bullied in lane. What is he going to be doing inside lane? And a lot of the times, he was just getting raw bullied when he was overextending during crucial moments, like a Baron being picked up in the last moment, where, I mean, that just draw in a close for Rogue Warriors. So Rogue Warriors did a lot because of that.
Yeah, Rogue Warriors won. Of course, we have our man of the match from that game. It is, of course, going to be the substitute jungler of Wei1, and we felt like it should have been holding, but in fairness, he did have a fantastic game at just cancelling out what badeMan did.
Yes. Honestly, at this stage, there are just so many moments where he was locked into the Mordekaiser ultimate. He's like, I'll just buy time. I'm cool with that.
At the very end, he was locked in the Mordekaiser and goes, oh, I can kill you.
Yes, in fact. And this was my favorite moment in the game that we mentioned coming just before the break, where we saw this dive come in from LGD last game, but they had a lot more aid with the Tom Kench, the timing alongside with it. This one was just far more easier for Rogue Warriors to not only just be there to be able to push it off. Holder comes in with a teleport to get the kill on Lives, who comes in to help the squad, and an even better dive from Rogue Warriors right after.
Yeah, and you can see Rogue Warriors, they saw the issue in the last game that was that early game pressure that got put onto that bot side of the Caitlyn and the Lux. They answered it, they mitigated it, and they just completely turned it on its head.
There was still one member that I enjoyed from the side of LGD. This was great, right? Yuuki still finds a highlight play to be able to get that kill on ZWuji. Only problem is that you're just so monstrously behind that you're going to lose the fight anyways. But if we're going to have a loser's MVP, you still get it, my friend. You still get it.
Good for you, Yuuki.
Yeah.
You tried your best.
Don't show your friends.
Here's your participation badge.
Wait a minute. That's not what it's called now. Yeah, it was good. All right. You got something. I enjoyed how well he played when they were behind, which feels like a small backhand. At the end of the day, they just want the win.
Yeah.
All teams at this stage, you're nearing the final weeks of the LPL. You need points. You need series wins to at least have some sliver of hope that you can come out for like that last stint towards Worlds.
Yes, absolutely. And as well as that, like, it's learnings. It's coming out of this kind of saying, okay, we know what made us bad, or we know how to improve from it, rather than just a standard like, well, we lost, guys, what do we do now? And everyone's looking around with blank faces.
Yeah.
You need some kind of point of improvement.
Yeah, and remember, we're in Hangzhou, and if you're looking towards LGD, a team that truly believed they can make the playoffs this split, unfortunate circumstances involving Condi put him in a really bad state, but still, you're right, development. And development around badeMan is actually a big thumbs up, where not only are you seeing great things from him immediately, but certainly there are lessons that you can learn here for the future, for next split, where you can come in and say, are we going to utilize him next split? For me, that's a big yes. I definitely want to see more of that man coming in towards it. And then for Rogue Warriors, I mean, I'm just saying, I feel like this team came together too late. They didn't have this squad coming in for Spring Split. They definitely had a far weaker entity in the team. They brought in Kesman from RNG, great manager that he was able to have. So they built an amazing team, unfortunately far too late. If they don't make it to the playoffs, keep them together coming into next split too.
That's what you can hope for Rogue Warriors as well. Even if they don't make playoffs, but they get close. They get ninth or something like that from where they started. That's a huge positive for this side, for this team. And you gotta kind of look at it and hope to pray that the management will talk to the players and say, guys, we can have a real shot at this going into 2021. And unfortunately, just please don't leave.
Yeah. Turn that LGD sign right side up, please. You can at least see yourself on the big screen, I would assume. It's okay.
Maybe it's something that we don't know. Maybe it's like LGD when they lose, they go upside down. And when they win, it goes right side up.
They're tilted. You should put it on
yes,
the, on
it's
the
tilted.
side.
It's tilted. Exactly.
Big fan of that.
Do you ever see players who play with like a tilted monitor?
I have seen a few. Just one, actually.
Reckless.
Really?
Reckless plays with a really tilted monitor. Like it's like 45 degrees. It's insane.
What is even the positives of doing that?
I don't know. Like, it's insane. I always look at it and kind of go like, I want to go on stage and just like fix it.
Ask them, like talk to them, have that interview and be like, you know, the first time I played League of Legends, I had a cricked neck and I really just, I couldn't play a different way since that point.
Yeah, well, hopefully all is right for these players on stage to get all their little pre-match rituals done as we jump into Game 3, the last game of this series. Rogue Warriors, LGD. Rogue Warriors back on the blue side with LGD on the red. And we're going to see Sivir banned by Rogue Warriors. They felt like Kramer did okay in that particular matchup.
And I think more and more teams will start to heavily prioritize the Sivir and Yuumi combination. I think they're far too strong. I know that we've been seeing a lot of Lux and Caitlyn, but as you saw in the last game, if you don't get that first binding off and if you lose control of the wave, you just lose control of the game.
And Lux first pick potential, but the Olaf has been left open, as has the Yuumi. Olaf, the ravaging Viking in the jungle, able to be locked in by Rogue Warriors.
If you ask any analyst across the globe, LCK, LCS, they look at an Olaf ban and it's like, please, an Olaf pick, I mean, and say, please stop it.
Yep.
Stop it, not successful. Take that away from me. I don't want to see my teams playing this pick. In the LPL, we enjoy it simply because of what it is able to accomplish as the, the early game advantages come through. The snowball EDA is able to have, early movement speed abilities ends up making these team fights a lot easier for the squad.
And though you are not affected by CC, Cataclysm doesn't count, and you cannot run through a Cataclysm. So I like the idea from the side of LGD. Jarvan, something that we've kind of seen lower in the priorities as such, kind of coming into the season. The longer it's gone, the less we've seen of him. But still a very standard, very, fun pick to see in the meta.
Yeah. We saw Kennen in game 1 too, but I expect this one to be an AP Kennen simply because, Jarvan Cataclysm and Kennen Ultimate is just a great team fight engage comp. So I want to see what LGD can build around it.
Lux locked in again, so that's going to be Huanggai on that for the third game in a row. And the Caitlyn as well, so they go with the same bot lane 3 times in a row. Didn't play badly in either of the 2 games, still think it's good.
At least in this game, they can say, okay, we're losing the shove. Whatever lane we're going up against, I'm thinking Varus, right? We have the Olaf in a longer lane that can come in for a gank. So I think Rogue Warriors at least has that strategy down pat.
And Tam Kench locked in for the last pick, of Phase 1. And you got to think that Rogue Warriors, they're going to focus the AD carries right now. You've already banned the Sivir, maybe take away the Varus, maybe even an Ezreal if you really want to get away that super safety. And there's the Varus ban coming straight in.
I wonder if they respect the Ezreal pick. Ezreal does add a good amount of poke alongside the Tahm Kench. But if you pick Ezreal, especially going up against Caitlyn and Lux, suddenly we say, Lux and Caitlyn have the shove in that lane. That they should be able to put in pressure, and you can start respecting Rogue Warriors' composition to be able to siege tower, move towards top and mid, while Ezreal's in that power drop. I think you give away the Ezreal and bait Kramer into it.
We'll see what the side of LGD want to go for. Jason Riot's those 2 bans, they're focusing more onto those solo lanes. Try to give Kennen as much of an easy possible lane as they possibly can. Last ban from Rogue Warriors.
What do they do? I'm thinking you ban... they already banned.
Lucian?
Yeah, Lucian's a great ban here, actually.
Lucian would be a very good ban. Gives them priority like you talked about. Give them the... But no, they're going to leave it up. So the option's there. LeBlanc taken away by Rogue Warriors.
Lucian and Tahm Kench, while they do have good moments, range advantage is going to be there for, of course, the Lux and Caitlyn. So I still think that they have the better matchup, even if he still has a great early game in comparison to the Ezreal. So we'll see what we end up getting out of LGD. If you're LGD, you have a Corki in the mid lane, a pretty damn good team fight up top side. Having an Ezreal to them makes some sense. I want to see what Kramer ends up picking for himself.
Talia finally makes her way through the picks and bans of the series, and we're going to see her into the mid lane. And maybe a Camille as well.
And I definitely know the chat enjoys the Corki versus Azir, but we won't be getting it, sadly.
I know, the handshake has been broken.
Yeah.
There is no gentleman's agreement to build up items and play the exact same laning phase.
Yep. I know, I'm sorry guys, you didn't get to see Azir and Corki for the millionth time in Global League of Legends. Maybe next time.
And the Camille locked in as well, so it's going to be Camille top. Can also flex the Camille and the Olaf if you really, really want to, but we very rarely see it nowadays. And do you go with the hyper carry?
You have the Tahm Kench too. He can actually get out of lane with this one, and yeah!
Wow, okay. Jinx locked in. That's going to be a very, very interesting lane to keep an eye on because you've got the kill pressure with the Lux, but like you said, Tahm Kench, the safety is there.
Not a lot of people get to see the Jinx lane in general, right? Not just the matchup, but the lane itself, and she actually has pretty damn good push just in rocket form. So those are things that you now start to look forward to, and I'm really enjoying what LGD have because the Tahm Kench is always going to save you from the double binding threat that Lux is going to throw down. So realistically, not that much damage should be laying over on Kramer. So Kramer should have a good laning phase.
Yeah, and Kramer playing the Jinx for the first time this split. And that's, like you said, if you got to do something, LGD realizing they need something to be able to help them kind of, you know, transition out of the 10 minutes and into a longer game. And the Jinx, it helps, but I don't know if it's the right answer. We'll have to wait and see.
See, and this comes back to game one, the discussion that we had that, you know, Rogue Warriors gave away every lane essentially. And now it's the polar opposite.
Yep.
They're like essentially slew of band-aid solutions is, yeah, we got the early game handily. Like their mid lane's great, top lane should be fine too. I just want to get a second look at the compositions just to make a little bit more of a sense out of it because a lot happened in that pick ban. Taking a look at what Rogue Warriors has here, I'm looking at the Olaf as a great example. Utilizing the Talia as she should have easier roams because she's dealing with the Corki. So there's a lot there that I see from Rogue Warriors based on the 2v2 mid alone.
Rogue Warriors trying to see if they can take out this team, LGD. The mini reverse sweep very much on the cards. Caitlyn Lux seen throughout this series, as has the Corki on the side of LGD Gaming. As we jump onto the Rift for the third and final game of this series. Let's hear the chants. She runs with toast in her mouth?
Yeah.
I never knew that. Who do they decide? How do they decide who does the initial chant?
Blue side first.
No, not even that. Like, who's the one person?
Every region actually has, or at least region. Every team has a different person on this one. So
really?
Like, for
like
FPX,
a designated person.
For FPX, it's actually Doombee's wife. Oh, wait, we're getting to level 1 actually.
We'll it's a full level 1, 5v1. Great double binding though is going to stop any kind of engage coming in, but a lot of damage being put down onto this Olaf. Good amount of poke. Do they just give up this straight away? It's very hard to tell what either side really wants to do. The Camille is in that mid lane already, just pushing it in, getting some free farm. I think they're happy with this.
Yeah, very smart from Rogue Warriors to be able to have that shove through mid lane. And worst comes to worst, he's going to be able to get to level 2 and have the hook shot if he wants to come in and join too. So very happy with what Rogue Warriors are doing. It just matters if they get the damn smite. Let's see what ends up happening.
Here we go. It's going to reset very soon, but it's actually Tahm Kench who gets it. And Olaf gets first blood. So overall, Rogue Warriors, they know the jungler didn't get the camp, and they're happy enough with that.
Yep. Rest in peace, Jarvan. We all know what buff you're going to next. So I want to see if Wei Yan accepts it, says you can take red buff. I'm really happy with what just happened. I'll be able to get my full clear while you just lost out on the first buff. I think Rogue Warriors are really happy because of that.
And that was just very, very unfortunate. You can already see a near 10 CS lead for this Camille as the early lane went in. They've warded as well, so know exactly where he is. And for now, like you said, they're happy enough with just letting him have it and then tracking him throughout the early game.
Small reminder for the next patch 9.14, Tahm Kench can just eat it. So
that's right.
That's going to be fun for the future.
Tahm Kench needed buffs.
Yeah.
Bit of an early trade here. It's actually the Quento. Oh, Ignite goes down. No real mana left. Flash for Flash. And this is why the Talia was banned.
All right, let's see. More action should be coming through.
Here we go. No real flashes available for anyone here as we go into, sorry, all flashes available as I say that, but he doesn't go back in on top of it. The red buff is ticking down. They don't give it over, but that is going to be a kill traded back over to LGD.
That was actually incredibly smart. The mind games to hold onto the wall because he knew that, the Jarvan flag and drag would be coming through. He thought that, essentially J4 would just go for it. But he held on and said, yeah, I'm waiting for you to go for it, buddy. And then he ends up essentially finding the kill anyways.
RD has got heal, has got flash. Flash has been burned. They do use it. Ooh, so close. All summoners burned on this bot side. But it's Rogue Warriors who come out on top.
All right. I mean, end of the day, being able to get those flashes, we're going to see the first one because this reminded me of ZWuji Gaming going up against IG. If we're just talking about the level 2, level 3 all-in by, Talia, even the best players will just fall to that. All it really comes down to that one flick. Take a look at this. badeMan can actually just, EQ.
He was stunned.
He's stunned? Okay, I actually thought he waited for it.
Yeah, no, unfortunately, as he went in on the hook shot, he was stunned, so he could not move.
Okay. Unfortunate, because I actually thought that was just going to be a good call anyway, because, Jarvan is just going to follow you no matter what. The distance that the hook shot covers, Jarvan will just be able to match. Worst case scenario, he just burns flash. So, all right, that's actually, it changes up quite a bit.
Already we're seeing both teams really pushing for the advantages in either of the lanes, and all three of the lanes, excuse me, as we see Olaf just power farming after that very aggressive level 1. We've got the Jarvan not being dissuaded, badeMan trying to get top lane going for the Kennen, bot lane taking a lot of damage as well. A lot of small little things here coming out from this early game.
Yeah, and I mean, the expectation of Rogue Warriors being able to lead through HuaTian and Weiyan early on in this game is just coming true. So I want to see if that early lead, that early solo kill HuaTian got does convert into more pressure through mid lane, and he can come bot side now that he's level 6, or at least he's level 5 now if I can see it. But once he hits level 6, being able to be coming bot side of the map and helping out ZWuji and Huanggai in another dive we've been seeing throughout the series. I don't know how LGD is going to be able to respond to that.
And we'll see the Olaf is coming down towards the bot side. They do drop down the Chompers. Nice response there from Kramer, able to keep himself safe. And immediately badeMan is here, but he has been spotted out on wards. Walks straight past the pink ward there on his blue.
All right, you're right in the area. You should be here just for the counter gank. Just in case Olaf comes through. He wants to be able to keep this lane safe so he can fully shove it into the tower. So, great work here from badeMan.
See if he's able to get any other kind of advantages. No summoners still, or rather no flashes still in the mid lane. So, Yuuki and HuaTian definitely a little bit more focused. Devour available. And that's going to be down there for another 20 seconds. But as we see in the mid lane, I talked about no flashes. There's the EQ. They're going to be able to kill him off. Nice sidestep from both the jungler and the mid laners of LGD. And they pick themselves up a pretty free Talia.
Yeah, badeMan's been doing a lot this early portion of the game. I mean, the fact that he was put in such a bad start in level 1 and able to recover so quickly, it's good things from him. But I think Weiyan's in a... Okay, Weiyan's fine. Bot side is in his favor.
Wanted that, health, wanted the honey fruit, but to deny it if nothing else, but able to transition over that to LGD's mid laner.
I was wondering why, badeMan didn't fully commit to staking with bottom lane and seeing them fully crash that into turret just because that creates an opening for Weiyan to come in for a gank. But he knew that he was going to be able to find a gank through mid lane because of the flash being burnt early on. So really good job. I mean, ultimately, you take those risks, and he ended up paying off. No!
He had no smite. That's a feels badeMan right there. Haha, I'm so funny. Anyway, moving on. I had to make one joke about his name.
All right. Back to Europe you go.
Yeah, first flight out. Get out of here. But see, this Olaf might be in a little bit of trouble. Not level 6 as of yet. Forced to flash, or not flash, forced to use the Weaver's Wall to try and respond, but that's already still a dash, and he's going to spit out to his doom. Double kill, going to be 3 kills. And that's just a very, very unfortunate move there, and I kind of have to question what was Yuuki doing right there, because everyone else rotated except for the Corki.
Yeah, that was awkward. I would love to see it one more time just to be able to see it from Yuuki's perspective, because at the end of the day, his own team got caught consistently throughout that side of the map. So at that point, if he ends up rotating, I mean, it wouldn't really do him a lot of good, but I want to see how it all started off, the context behind what his way was.
And you talked about the Weaver's Wall being so important as well, being able to rotate into it and see how they started this. They think they have the Olaf.
Yeah, so they think it's easy. It's just a 3v1 situation. In comes the Weaver's Wall, completely changes. So how can Corki actually help his team here? He has no options. It's on his team completely because they think it's an in-and-out operation.
Yep. ZWuji was rotating on the minimap. Fortunately for him, there was just nowhere for him to really go and help, like you said. And this is kind of slowly kind of drifting away from the side of LGD.
Yeah, it's tough at this stage. I mean, we're talking about early game, band-aids, and what you can really do with it. Right now, HuaTian is the primary focus. I think this has been a great series for him, honestly. Game 1, the one in which they lost, he put in a whole lot of work off of just his quirky play. Game 2, and it was great as well, but this game already, being able to rotate early on, not only get the solo kill, rotate early on, be able to help out Weiyan in that entire engage. Now he's the sole focus of the team. What he ends up roaming towards, like that side, that's where the kills are going to be coming through. And I think it's going to be happening through bot lane. I don't know, Kramer at this stage is not providing too much DPS, first of all, and it's easy to get picked off by Huanggai.
Not only that as well, we saw the Olaf, and it's been banned pretty damn successfully in most of the other games. And like you said, most of the regions, LCK, LEC, LCS, they all say that Olaf is just not worth it, but making a bit of a resurgence right now in the LPL. And we talked a little bit about Off's discussion as well. I love the fact that we're looking at all 3 different regions and or 4 different major regions, and all 4 regions have different play styles and different priorities.
Yeah, I mean, it just comes down to how teams are willing to embrace the skirmish. A great example is early on this year, Karthus was catching fire in Korea and Europe as well, but our best team looked at that, said, okay, it's not working out for us because we can't fight nearly as often. That was Ning with Invictus Gaming. So they just didn't play it. Go into Rift Rivals, get owned by Canyon. Then now essentially it's like every team wants to be able to get their hands on the pick.
That's it, like the transitions as such, the priorities they put on, as we see this Olaf again, trying to see if they can make something happen with this bot lane. As you said, very, very easy to kill off this Jinx, but it's not going to be a kills. It's just going to be a lot of pressure and a lot of plates.
And a lot of, oh yeah, at least, okay. Just in case, so they want to be able to hold the turret and at least pick up the experience of the wave. The fact that they're using Quirky TP.
For 3 minions?
For that, I mean, he's going to be in the area, he's going to TP for the mid lane turret anyways, but wants to be in the area, wants to support his bot lane. That's a lot just to be able to let that happen.
Here we go, though. There's going to be double TP from the bot lane of the side of LGD. They want to try and get this Rift Herald as they go in. There's the Cataclysm going down, but Olaf deletes him. I think, actually, yes, it was the LGD that took it. But here comes the Slicing Maelstrom on the backside of this. Olaf has fallen. That's both junglers down right now. That's ultimate from the Camille, able to try and dissipate the rest of the team fight, but they're going to have the final spark dodged away. Weaver's Wall was not taken. The Kennen goes down. They did pick up the Rift Herald, and it's going to be a heal trying to just catch up on top of this. They will pick up the Tahm Kench, and how many more will fall? Kramer tries to get a little bit, nice little dodge there, to try, sorry, juke I should say, to get the Corki. Thought they were going for the Jinx, end up swapping targets. They trade back 4 kills for that Rift Herald. Don't know how worth it was.
Yeah, I still really enjoyed that from Rogue Warriors. HuaTian coming through with not only just the flash to be able to find somebody, ends up getting the flash from Corki himself. Nah, yeah, just like you, I thought he was going to be able to use the flick on the Jinx, ended up changing targets. So take a look at this. Really clutch from badeMan to be able to get the smite, so it was for the team, I believe.
Good combo.
Yeah, and then take a look at this, because the cannon comes through in the flank. You rarely see it throughout this series. And then LGD can just take advantage of it. And then here comes Rogue Warriors. ZWuji rotates over, and then Holder can chase you down. Doesn't matter if the Tahm Kench is there, if he's the one that gets targeted off the entire one. Moves in to protect Corki, ends up getting killed, and then HuaTian is way too quick.
And I genuinely thought the flick was going to come in on top of the Jinx, but swaps targets, able to get himself nicely set up as we see the Rift Herald being dropped up onto that top side. Minute left on those turret plates. He's just going to waddle towards some gold.
I don't know about this one. Just want to see what the state of the lane is here for Rogue Warriors. Okay, they should be able to.
Yeah, they've got some people. They've got some people. Look at the 2 plates. That's 640 gold, most likely going over to Kramer. Needs to be in range though, so walks over, gets himself that. Not too bad. Backs away.
Only concerned about the setup time. Olaf was technically in the area. Wanted to see if they can actually stop the Rift Herald from even being there, if they can zone the enemy team off just in case. But thankfully, you're right. End up getting the gold there. So
I think gold is what LGD need right now. They need to get Corki as Triforce. They need to get the Infinity Edge onto the Jinx to even be relevant in these fights. And let's wait to see. Wei1 just hovering off to the side. The Olaf definitely has a lot more kill pressure as of this moment and time. Good shields, able to stop any kind of return damage.
And Rogue Warriors can stick around simply because HuaTian's Weaver's Wall is going to be coming up in about 10 seconds. So, great control of this side of the river by Wei1. Down you can use HuaTian to come on over. He really only needs 1 Weaver's Wall, even if he doesn't have too much mana to his name. Okay, at least that's going to help.
That will help the mana situation as it starts to regen up like crazy. And we've seen an interesting lane swap come in here. It was instigated by LGD as they wanted to try and get that Rift Herald onto that top side, get that 320 gold. I said 640 initially, and I completely miscalculated. I was like, wait, that's only 2 tower hits. It's 160 each. But nonetheless, we're going to see what LGD can do. They're 4,000 gold behind, or just a little bit under it. badeMan, he's definitely been focused. After game 1, they said, right, we know how to deal with this right now, and we just got to stop the aggressor.
Yeah. Definitely not a personnel issue anymore. A lot of the times that has been the bane of LGD, has been like, jungler's not in tune with the rest of the map, top laner not necessarily also working alongside him, or maybe just one of the worst top lane. That's always been the discussion around LGD. At this point in time is, can they just get the team fight rolling as a team? And it's more enjoyable to be able to watch games like these and know that all these players are strong. Kramer, though, needs to watch out.
Kramer is almost certainly dead. No summoners, and everybody's here trying to just dodge out as much as he physically can. Good happy feet. Going to get hit with the AoE, and that's giving time, as you can see, for the Jarvan and the Tahm Kench to take that Abyssal Voyage, join the fight. Try not to give up as much as they can.
Yeah, definitely shark-infested waters. Calm down, people. Get away from me.
In fairness to Kramer, good response there from the side of LGD to able to keep him alive. He did not fall down, so does not give over more gold, and gives them a little bit of free time to try and figure out how they come back into this mid to late game.
Yeah, at this point I'm only concerned about, as you could tell from game 1, Rogue Warriors in this case getting stalled out. They're still putting in a great amount of work, but LGD are in this real defensive turtle stance. Like,
TP is available for Lies. If they do decide to go for it, there's the knockback flash. Ignite still ticking. Tick, tick, boom. There's the Weaver's Wall. It's going to be RD, potentially force the flash, but they're not going to go for him. They're just going to go for the turret. Nice little pick off there, and this Taliyah pick is really coming up trumps for the side of Rogue Warriors.
Yeah, whenever LGD sets up, okay, wait a second. Get away from me. But every time there's it's LGD setting down any point of defense. Like, RD was in the area, but what does it matter if the wall comes through? I don't think LGD have figured out what to be able to get down. I think they just need to look for a flank TP fight with the cannon in tow to be able to stop Rogue Warriors from continuously moving forward. Right now, I mean, if we're just talking about what's available, mid lane turret and bot lane turret, outer turrets that is, should be what's the next point of focus for Rogue Warriors. LGD recognize that, and they need to set up for something to push back Rogue Warriors and to give them time to farm.
Yeah, it looks like Rogue Warriors setting themselves very much sights.
Oh no.
Oh, as I say that, there's so much damage. You've got the Ludens, you've got the first part of your Morellonomicon, and it's just so much. You have to fear this Taliyah.
Yeah, and he's just holding on to his flash and holding on to his flick. At that stage, HuaTian just knows, I can just hold on to this forever long and see what I can get out of it. Just really calm demeanor coming in from Kramer.
It will trade the bot lane turret, but top lane will go down as well. As you can see, Yuuki making his way onto that. Has got the Triforce now, so it's not sitting too far away. The IE has been delayed onto the Jinx, so Kramer still really waiting, and I suppose that's the risk you take when you take the Jinx. You've only got, that kind of big window of 3 items. After that, it's kind of all plain sailing, but you got to get there.
Yeah. This is smart. They recognize the wave's pushing in, and it really just takes one person being impatient, not waiting for the wave to get to the turret. See if they can pick up HuaTian. Oh, they caught him.
They caught the side of the Jarvan. Nicely done there. I like the carefulness, if you like, by the Olaf to be able to throw in the undertow, make sure nobody's sitting there waiting for someone to kind of pop in. And, you know, it's very rare you see that from some of these teams in the LPL.
Yeah, I mean, it's so easy to, especially what we saw from Wise in Game 2, just kind of, not necessarily turn your brain off, but just to recognize that wave being safe, right? That you have a safe space up there and you just kind of assume everyone is either farming up their side of the jungle or just back in base and reset.
Oh, there is the Ragnarok, and he does not steal the buff, so bit of a weird one there. I think that was a little overzealous, to say the least. The rest of the team start to come in. There's the Weaver's Wall, and like you said, they just want those outer turrets, and the Weaver's Wall, perfect tool for setting that up.
And even to double down, okay, here comes the TP
That
though.
TP mightn't be quick enough, though. They drop the Cataclysm, they stop the aggro onto the turret, and it's going to be RD jumping in with the Tahm Kench ultimate as well. But a fantastic slicing Maelstrom, and LGD take 2.
That's what we're talking about. Just need Lies to find the backline, and now they're looking for this mid lane turret.
There's still a lot of good health bars and good damage on the available to Rogue Warriors. LGD find themselves the kills. They back themselves away to defend the mid turret for now, but a fantastic TP flank there from the cannon.
We just need to see those wards get placed down, and finally they found that moment. RD should die here. We'll see what ends up happening.
Yeah, badeMan has literally been told, run, you fool. He's Gandalf. He's just telling him to run.
You can't help me.
You cannot help me. I'm so sorry. And he will fall to Holder. A little bit greedy with trying to ward up as badeMan. Oh, maybe they just go for this as the package comes down, and a fantastic stopwatch baited and outsmarted.
What was Holder trying to do? Probably trying to come in from a flank on the inner turret? That's planning, what, 5 steps ahead. When really
60 chess.
they ain't been evented yet, he needs to wait some time. But this was beautiful from Lies. Being able to get 2 kills just from that, and flashes, by the way. ZWuji is going to be coming into the next fight without the sums.
And the thing as well is that what kind of made that fight so good is that, yes, fair enough, you didn't kill ZWuji, but you forced him away. He cannot join the fight anymore, which means that the rest of the fight goes to you regardless. And this is why I wanted to see this AP cannon so much earlier in this series. The opportunities to bring games back, because that slicing Maelstrom can do so damn much.
Yeah, and especially when, if you take a second look at Rogue Warriors Comp 2, while they can continue to roll and be able to pick up objectives, this might be an easy one.
Yeah, I was trying to get the pick off there. Final Spark was used.
Oh!
And actually, it's going to be TP invested, but they will be able to pick up the Talias. Here we go. Everyone trying to jump in on top of this, but I think Yuuki, you're going to fall pretty damn quickly. Flash is being burned left, right, and center. Lies is there. Has not got the slicing Maelstrom. Literally just picked it up at the last second, trying to just run away. They are trying to kite this one out, but they don't have the damage. They don't have the setup. They don't have the element of surprise. And they will end up losing 3 people just to catch one.
Holder's being a menace. He's being a real, like, just finding himself in the back
Is that
line.
Baron?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be on Kramer and RD to do something to stall this one out. But if we're just talking about what Holder can do, he's going to try and, like, hold you off. So LGD is certainly going to be losing this one.
LGD will forfeit the Baron after they lose all 3 of their top side of the map, if you take it as top, jungle, and mid. That's just very, very unfortunate. Not really what you want to be seeing. Rogue Warriors, though, they're going to be pretty damn happy to get themselves a 7,000 gold lead and feeling pretty.
And patience was pretty key. We talked about the fact that it was a great cannon ultimate to be able to find the back line. They needed to be able to set up for something like that again. The fact that, yeah, it starts with LGD essentially finding the pickup topside, but how much did they how much did they commit to that? Suddenly they're saying, okay, we need to look to protect all people, because they were trying to find one cheeky pick and didn't expect it to take so long that the rest of the team would come in and aid him. So that's the problem. Sometimes just being able to have the discipline of saying, we'll set up for the next fight, let's just hold the fort, clear out many wave as possible. If we get like a stopwatch and can't fully get the kill, then just leaving it and moving away and saying that's a win we'll take, we're completely fine with that. These are decisions that LGD in hindsight should have made.
As we said before, hindsight is 20/20. Now the Baron buff ticking for another 2.5 minutes. Rogue Warriors. He thinks it's good. The Colonel thinks it's going to be pretty standard stuff for them right now. And can you blame them? They've been apart from that one fight, they've looked pretty strong.
Yeah, the Chinese community actually has a pretty good meme about him, because every single time, or at least like it would appear to be, time he comes in, shows support for like one team, a fight immediately happens that tilts the favor for the other team. They just say, well, he's just trying to create some bad luck. He's trying to mess things up right now. So,
messing with the feng shui.
Yeah, so I'm just saying right now, if that's supposed to be true, with how ridiculous this series has been, it can change hands. Once again, Kennen has Flash and Ultimate, so that's who we're simply looking at to say can be able to bring the game back for the team.
Yeah, but another minute or so on that TP, and that's really the threat you want to start bringing up on top of this, is the inhibitor, not the inhibitor, turret starts to get focused down, and you can see one more wave, and that is just gone. There's just nothing the side of LGD can really do about it. Yeah,
and it's just going to be us looking towards, I mean, actually, HuaTian's ultimate is not going to be up for a while, so maybe just trying to get a single flick, or that. You know,
that's your tank.
Caitlyn crit on that guy. Let's see what happens when he hits Kramer or Yuuki.
Will they even be able to react? That's the big question, but this Caitlyn Lux combo hasn't done them too badly so far. Almost brought them back into the game 1. Definitely helped them in game 2, and so far in game 3, 2-0-5, 1-1 and 8. Surprised this Lux got through bans so damn often.
All right, easy bot lane turret with the traps that they ended up. They can actually just continue to double down on it. Those traps are actually so valuable.
Little snap traps, able to just kind of create a zone of, I know where you have to go if you want to try and engage on us. And now turrets falling down in the mid lane as well. You can see inhibitor going to be falling in the bot side, or will it, as we see the Abyssal Voyage and the package coming in with the Slicing Maelstrom. They will just try pick up as many people as they possibly can. Huanggai is the first one to fall, and as is the Caitlyn. But here comes Holding as he comes in and just jumps onto absolutely everybody. Now that Talia joins the fight as well. Kramer has no more mana, and it's a decimation, an ace. They lose 2, gain 5, and the game is almost certainly going over to Rogue Warriors.
Can't fault them for trying. But when you only hit Huayan and Huanggai, you're feeling good as the rest of the carries. And Holder did his part here, 7-2 and 4. He was such a huge part of the win there for Rogue Warriors.
Rogue Warriors were complete the reverse sweep as such, get themselves the 2-1, and honestly, thoroughly deserved.
Remember, this was the team that took down both LNG and EDG. They had great upsets this split. And a lot of teams are just actually, frankly, confused as to where their placement is. They don't have the wins. They need to start being able to pick them back up, especially after the loss to Victory 5. And this is a great step to that. I mean, these games are messy. They go for a while. The fact that they go to 3 games doesn't necessarily help their cause. Calling them, calling them a playoff team is definitely a stretch. But once they're able to complete this step, next few games, I mean, those are the primary focus for the team. I want to see what they can do, especially Huayan, who had both a strong Game 2 and Game 3 performance.
Well, if you need to look at their current schedule, they've got DMO, they've got JDG, BLG, WE, VG Gaming, and then IG right at the death. These are all very winnable games, apart from maybe IG.
And I'm fine just looking at that and saying that, they just need 3 series wins, assuming that, let's just say BLG or, God forbid, EDG ends up stalling out, right? Then it's very realistic that one of those teams gets bumped out because of the strength of schedule. So remember, every series counts, every game counts with points on the line. I really want to be able to see just more consistent growth out of the team, because this is a great movement. Like, Holder came in and definitely had a great series going up against Lies. And that's the reality here. Even with that one fun mistake that he had going far too deep in red side jungle.
Is that the word we're using now? Fun.
Fun mistake. Fun games, fun mistake. Look, that's the branding we're having here in LPL.
I completely agree. I think, there was a lot of positives for Rogue Warriors.
Yes.
Definitely a lot of things they can look to work on. But coming out with a series victory is the key. That's the big thing there. And you can see they weren't really not in control. They kind of had a good firm grip. And for 26 minutes, 10 seconds, that's a quick damn game for Rogue Warriors.
And a lot of it comes through those 2 members, as I was talking about, both Holder and HuaTian. HuaTian, when he first started out in Spring Split, in his rookie split, I was just like, wow. He's actually, like, if we're just talking about skill level in the mid lane, I think the LPL's such a strong mid lane, pool. At least it has a strong mid lane pool. And HuaTian, I felt like, was bottom 2 alongside Mala on Snake, at that time now known as LNG. And he's certainly improved over the time. I think confidence has definitely been there for him. Communication alongside his new junglers has definitely helped. And so he's able to now completely barrel through off of his champion pool. He's not seeing Yasuo anymore. That's just getting banned out a lot. And it's nice to be able to see games like these where he can play a lot safer, recognize he has a lead because of his solo kill, and just go turret to turret, wall them out, and then just wait for a target off his flick.
But that was the thing. You mentioned the Yasuo ban, and the Taliyah ban was also a staple in the first 2 games.
True.
If you're able to have your, go to your coaching staff almost and say, right, they have to ban these 2 things, otherwise we have a serious good chance of winning this, that just enables your team for so much more. You're able to get those Lux picks and Caitlyn's consistently every game because you know they haven't got the bandwidth to ban it.
Yeah, that's interesting about the game. A lot of the times you don't get to see that added context of what they end up playing in scrims and why it has so much respect. Is it just off those few games that we've seen on professional play? And I always feel like, just let it go. That's what all fans are probably just saying. Yeah. Why are you banning the Yasuo in this instance? Why the Taliyah?
Let's see it and see what happens.
Exactly.
But then you'll get flamed when you let it through and it wrecks you.
You can't win.
You can't win. You just cannot win.
But the Taliyah pick comes through. We finally see the result. It's pretty damaging.
Yeah, it was pretty damn good. And it was the quickest game of the series as well at 26 minutes and 10 seconds. So definitely see why there was a lot of focus on towards that mid lane. But also another positive towards Rogue Warriors is that that game 1 LGD, they came out, they had a very solid game plan, with their new jungler.
Yeah.
They wanted to go for the hyper early aggression. Rogue Warriors realized that, they dealt with it, and they came up with a solution.
And I love the fact that for the past couple Rogue Warriors games, we've seen that in series adaptation, in game adaptations that we wouldn't have seen in best of ones. Don't want to harp on it, but just being able to see that and recognize that if it wasn't, LGD would have actually just left Hangzhou, or at least went back home feeling happy after the first win.
Yeah.
But they had to, put badeMan back into it, finally be able to try and grind out a second win. It wasn't possible. They were going up against new opponents, a new jungler too, and Weiyan coming in for Holder, and bigger success. I am really liking the fact that Rogue Warriors' talent pool is coming through. There are more talented players coming in from Holder. I guess Haro and Weiyan, they're interchangeable on that one. But HuaTian's coming in as a very strong mid laner now. You certainly have to respect his play, and you don't have to say too much about ZWuji as a player. Definitely one of the hypest persons we have, or at least new AD carries coming into the league.
Do you think it's possible? Can they make the gauntlet run? Can they turn on, and make it to playoffs?
No.
Look, you don't think so?
I don't think so. Look, I already said that top 8's pretty damn good. And I don't think EDG, for how many times that they can have their off days, that you can push them out. And it really just comes down to how much faith we have in teams like Suning and BLG. At the end of the day, we'll see how BLG... I can have that answer for you, but at the end of the day...
I was going to say, do you want me to re-ask the question later on the series?
We can postpone that question.
Perfect. Honestly, we'll put that over there, and we'll get back to it later.
But even then, even just asking BLG to lose games consistently, series consistently, and then say that, Rogue Warriors will catch up to them 3 series behind, I think that is such a large stretch that I think it's safe to say no. All it really comes down to, let's just say if they get slaughtered by Team WE in the next series in Xi'an, then I was like, okay, maybe.
Then it's a
possibility. Suddenly it's a maybe, but now, no.
There is a lot more ifs and buts in the Rogue Warriors gauntlet run than they probably would ever want to have. And, like you said, we're running out of time. The season is rapidly coming to an end, and we'll have to wait and see how it all pans out. But every game matters. I hate saying that because it's really cliche, but right now in the series, if you're picking up this LGD, they fall further down. Rogue Warriors, now they're in the conversation for playoffs.
Yes, and for me, with how many games, series we've already seen from LGD, and the current look, throwing in new junglers, definitely, I would say look towards next split. It's a tough one for them.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see how that all pans out for the Rogue Warriors. But they take the series, and we're going to take a break. When we return, we're going to have BLG versus WE for our second series of the evening.